Vernell Crittenden is a former public information officer at San Quentin. He runs a youth intervention program called Real Choices. All right, Vernell, what do you make of this whole discussion and Judge Mathis's program of helping people when they're coming out?
Hey, well, Judge Mathis, it's good to be able to talk with you, and commend you for your program. But, I would like to set a few things on the record. And, Larry, you and I, on June the 6th, 2006, you came out to San Quentin when I had 8 men that came onto your show to talk with you. Those 8 men represented people that were associating with white gangs, Latin gangs, people that were associating with African-American gangs. All of those men were involved with the taking of human life. Well, today, 3.5 years later, now you have 5 of those 8 men that have been released from the prison and are doing well back in society again. Actually, I have a program where we go out and we recruit previously incarcerated. I have over 800 that are now attending college. So rehabilitation is something that does occur, and I call it rehabilitation because we weren't born criminals. This is a product of their environments that change their behaviors. And research has indicated, Larry, that a cognitive behavioral model is the most successful model for transforming human lives. And also, education is something that is critical to putting them on a pathway to becoming a part of this workforce in a productive manner.
Pat, you do believe in redemption, don't you? You do believe that people can change.
It depends whether they're not totally violent psychopaths. A lot of the violent psychopaths we have that are serial killers and serial rapists, they aren't having problems getting a job. They just like killing people and raping people. Those are the kind of people that don't need to be coming out. Now, when we're talking about gang situations, sometimes that's almost just a cultural thing where that's where you're born into and that's what you see around you. That's what you think is a thing to do. It's kind of like being in a war zone. Those kind of people, I believe, as long as their crimes are kind of within that segment. In other words, they're not serial killers then going out and killing women on the street. They're in gangbangers or whatever they're involved in. They're living within that culture, just like people in a war zone. So I think if you get them out of that type of culture and you give them a different kind of culture, those may not be unrepentant psychopaths. Those are somebody who said, wow, that's all I ever knew. So those people I think there's hope for. But the other kind is, we've got to learn, as I say, we've got to learn to segment what's worth working with and what is we need to keep out of society.
We don't let them out, though, do we, Judge?
Well, we shouldn't. In most cases, we do not. Sociopaths, violent murderers, and rapists, yes, they do. But
they get out?
Yes, they do. They are sent back into our community. And I'm with Pat there, particularly if they have a psychological or mental illness, they certainly should not be released back into society. But one of the things I want to make an observation about is that going into prison has a real effect on leaving. In other words, when you go in, you're less educated. 80% have no GED or high school diploma. There were no jobs in your community. You're full of poverty, drugs, and despair. You go in, you get no training, you get no education. You come back out sicker and slicker than you were before you went in, and you victimize the community the same way.
Dog, wouldn't you agree with that?
Oh, I agree. I like that. Thicker and slicker. You go in as a... No, I, of course, was there. I met a kid that came in that didn't do hardly anything. When I left, he said, dog, I'll take it from here. Instead of learning how to shoot the lock off, you learn how to pick it. Yeah. It's a training field for felons.
Vernell, you've seen the worst at San Quentin. That's true, isn't it? They come out smarter criminals.
Well, I think that it depends on what you do with them while they're inside. That's why I say that you'll find that research is clearly identified that when you are exposing them to a cognitive behavioral model, that you're going to find that you change the way they think about themselves, their personal and their community experiences. I think that Judge Mathis struck the nail on the head, and that is that what our society has created is we've created these environments within our larger cities, and now it's spread to our suburbs, where we are raising people up in a dysfunctional community. They have no jobs. Where are all the liquor stores located in these depressed communities? So therefore, these people resort back to drugs and alcohol abuse. Often you are going to find that most of the people that are in prison are third generation or more in their families of incarceration. Yes. Wow. Their fathers, their grandfathers are in prison. You have to break that cycle for them as a society. You can't just say they don't deserve another chance.
Back with more after this.